In this episode, we will talk about you would never do it in your home country, so why do it here? Click the subscribe button, thumbs up button, and comment so we can spread the truth about the Pino land. The general rule is if you wouldn't do it in your own country, don't do it here. Would you make some random girl who lives in your home country who you'd never met in your life your girlfriend? Or, in some of your cases, your wife? Desperate men during the pandemic marrying girls they've never met in person. Would you send money to some random girl who lives in your home country who you've never met in your real life? In some cases, tens of thousands of dollars, in a few cases, over $100,000 to girls they've never met in person. Would you buy a girl you barely know, oftentimes only been seeing in person or living with for only a few months, a house and a lot? These guys complain about getting married and losing half their assets in countries like the USA, yet they'll come to the Philippines and buy a girl they barely know 100,000 USD house and a lot that's 100% hers in her name. A gift, let's say. Something she can kick you out of at any time. Your friends back home would think you're the biggest fool in the world if you did that in your home country to a local girl. But these seemingly somewhat smart guys in their home country come to the Philippines and turn stupid. Most of foreigners don't realize that her family comes first. Her family is more important than you or if you are her husband. That's just Filipino culture. Say you buy a house and a lot for your girlfriend or wife. Then a few years later, the relationship gets rocky. Then her dozen family members are in her ear. Women are easily influenced, telling her to kick you out of the house, especially if the foreigner isn't giving the family money. If they can convince her to kick you out, the rest of the family all win because now they get to move into the nice house and lot you so nicely bought for your now ex-girlfriend or ex-wife. Her family will always come first. You are secondary. That's just Filipino culture. You guys who don't live with your girlfriends or wives are fools. Stop being so desperate. Odds are you're going to lose just like back in your home country. Because a guy who wins and can get women on his own country in his own country doesn't get into LDR relationships or marriages. They're not desperate. They don't put themselves into bad relationships and LDRs and they don't put themselves into financial situations that don't make any logic or logical sense, sending money and buying houses. Stuff like this has always confused me. Even popular vloggers in the Philippines have suddenly started building houses and lots, stuff they said they would never do. How many popular channels do you know that have girlfriends or have wives and have their own homes? Who do you think those homes are under? Whose name do you think they're under? And if they break up, who do you think gets the money? They'll tell you that they've changed as a person, that they've seen their future in the Philippines, but it's all crap. It's pressure from the woman to finally start buying homes and investing in them. It was fun for a while to eat at restaurants, go to separate islands, and live in an air-conditioned unit, which they normally don't have, and eat properly on proper furniture, and live the good life. But now they want to make this last because they know if they don't, then the opportunity will go away. Women in the Philippines are like anywhere else. They want the best for themselves and they keep their options open. And one of the easiest ways is to get you to commit by either buying a house, land, marriage, or children, which I'll get into in a separate video. The Philippines is no different than any other country on so many levels. The only difference is you don't have any rights here. If something goes wrong, you are pretty much screwed. Even with lawyers and official business, I'm talking about people you should be trusting, like doctors even. It's very difficult to trust someone here. Of course, some of you may say, well, I've been to the hospital and nothing bad happened to me. My experience was good. Sure, that may be the case, but that's just you. You do not speak for every other foreigner that gets mistreated and ripped off at the doctor's office. How many of you actually have received second opinions regarding a condition, for example, or some charges that make no sense? Anyways, that could be a different story too. Let's get back on track with these women. I never understood that either. Someone with $100,000 to give away. Of course, you probably worked very hard in your life to earn that money, or maybe you were lucky enough that it was passed down to you to a generation. Regardless, why does a random woman in the Pinoy land deserve to have everything you worked so hard for? In some cases, let's say, that's fine, that's normal, you want the best for your partner, but those cases are very rare. You will not find them through online relationships and LDRs. Those people that do these things, maybe they think that their significant other deserves it, and in very rare cases they do. There are some very legit good women out there, but believe me, the age gap between the man and the woman is very small. Perhaps they have a few kids now, and their good days are beyond them, so they want to focus on having a proper relationship, but you are only getting the bottom of the bottom of the women. I hate to say it that way, but that's the truth. Which brings me to another comment I read earlier, which said that they disagreed with my video of LDRs not working. And they said, I disagree. I talked to my Filipino wife for 2 years on Skype before we met. We've been married now for 12 years. She was a single mom with 2 kids. Her son is now an honor student. I'm not sure what her son being an honor student have to do with anything, which I respond, 14 years ago, it is not the same as now. Also, it doesn't mean she didn't cheat on you when you were not together. Lastly, she was a single mom with 2 kids, so on a very, very low chance she didn't cheat, it's because she wasn't considered a high value woman. Sorry to be blunt, that's what I mean. This is not 15 years ago, 14 years ago, 12 years ago, where things were different. Now women in the Philippines, just like across the world, all they have to do is just squeeze their breasts together to get money from sad, lonely men across the world. Yes, I know, this will always be the case. I'm not here to change people's mind about how to behave or where to send their money. My issue is the people that are telling you lies regarding this country that's all just perfect, a paradise where women would just throw themselves at you just because you are a foreigner, just because they're traditional or good women. It is not the case. The only difference is the amount. That's it. The rest is completely the same. And the difference is poverty and desperation makes people do crazy things. Let's talk and look at yesterday's best and worst comments. The video was about the half Filipino, half Australian man who visited the Philippines for the first time and could not believe what he was seeing. And he explained how he could not stand the way the Philippines life was. And the best comment is, they say they are proud, but look at the way they carry themselves and how they treat their land. Look at the results. Does it show genuine pride or just a facade of pride? I think this is referring to the nonstop pollution and trash everywhere in the Philippines, the amount of plastic and garbage dumped into the oceans, the fact that the government accepts garbage from different countries just to be dumped into their oceans. Countries, first world countries like Canada even, sends their garbage to the Philippines. Very good comment by this man. A second comment from T-Man saying, kindness is taken as weakness here. It's sad. Excellent point. In the Philippines, if you are too nice, they will look at you as weak, because most Filipinos deep down have an inferiority complex. They think that you are better than them just because you're a foreigner. That's how they feel subconsciously. So when you are nice, it shows weakness, and that's when they feel they can walk all over you. There is no need to keep saying hello to the security guard in your condominium. There's no need to be polite all the time. I'm not telling you to be rude to anyone, but you can always just look down and continue, because once you befriend them, then they have you on the hook. Many times I've talked to people when I first arrived in this country just to be friendly, just to talk, because I was excited how every Pinoy is so friendly. Slowly, I start getting requests for money. People's motorcycles would be breaking down, or they needed something for their home, or their sick parents. I could not take it anymore. It happened all the time. It is time to look at yesterday's worst comment. Hottie Samantha says, this guy sounds like a pampered baby. Oh, mommy, they're being mean to me. This guy needs to go back to the place he came from. But it's probably the same way for him there too. What you fail to understand is this person probably pictured a very different place in his mind based on popular vloggers about the Philippines, a paradise where everyone was friendly, and when he arrived, it was the complete opposite. He probably wasn't mentally ready to be looked at and treated that way. There's nothing being baby about it if you're not being respected in any country, especially as a tourist, as a first time visitor, as a guest. You should be treated even better. Tell me, what do you think of everything we talked about today? I want to know your stories. Have you experienced long distance relationships, or money, or people that send money to people they never met? I want to listen to your thoughts as well. Thanks for watching. God bless.